look in your eyes. You're on a mission, burning ambition. You've got your eyes on the prize. You've gotta rise to the challenge. Show 'em what you've got. Step up and take what's yours. You are kings now, clash of titans.
Hey everyone, this is Anthony with Tornado Tag Podcast, back with the interview edition, episode number 14. Before we get into it, like I said always, check the links below if you want to find our guest's merchandise page, Facebook contacts for booking information, for matches. Maybe we'll talk about some matches, and we can link the below to some stuff you can check out there. Promotions, anything that's sent our way, we'll try to send you guys the right way to go check it out. As always, you can always check out our page's merch and donation tabs as well. That's going to be down there. And just remember, either way, just support and show some love to the independent wrestling scene. So on the phone, this is another one we had where this guest was on our podcast, and now we're doing the one-on-one session to kind of take a deeper dive and learn more about them. And really excited for this one. Big fan of this guy, and we had I have a cool little story we'll start off with once we get the introduction here. But do you want to introduce yourself, let people know who you are, and we'll go from there?
Nope. Ladies and gentlemen, you know who I am. It is I, yours truly, Fire Foxx Vinyer.
I love it.
Super handsome.
So one of my favorite stories of you is when you were teaming up with the Blue Meanie at PPW. Don't remember what show it was at PPW or the name of it, but the Blue Meanie was there. And you put a post out saying, I'm looking for a BWO shirt. And I messaged you, said, I have one, but it's a medium, and it's going to be small. I said, you can do what you got to do to it, cut it up, do what you have to. We made it work. You wore it during the match. After the match was over, you rubbed your face paint all over it, your armpits, and threw it at me. And then I had you sign it, and I still have it, covered in armpits, sweat, and face paint with your autograph as well as a Blue Meanie. It's one of my little pieces of wrestling merchandise I have sitting around.
You better put it in a frame, and that's some fresh lady speed stick you got on there.
Yeah, it was a good time. So yeah, man. When did wrestling become important to you, and when did you catch the bug? When did you start watching?
My earliest memory is I think it was WrestleMania 7 or something like that. I remember sitting at my father's girlfriend's sisters at the time, and seeing a far blimp shot of something of Macho Man walking down. I remember the blimp shot. I don't remember who was in it, but I think it was Macho Man, because that's I keep remembering that.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, I just remember going down to the Knickerbocker Arena where Royal Rumble 92 was held, and I would go there all the time with my family and just watch wrestling. I remember getting a Rockers poster. It was crazy. And then from there, I just been watching and trying to dress up as Bret Hart.
So far, every name you've dropped except Bret Hart was my introduction as well. I loved Macho Man. I was a huge Rockers fan, big on Shawn. I liked Bret, but I wasn't a huge fan. I didn't fall in love with him like everybody else did. But I respect his game. I was more of an Owen guy. I was more of an Owen fan.
I was always Bret. I would take the sweatpants and I'd put high tube socks that are white up to make them look like boots, and a little tank top, and I had a leather jacket or some little silly jacket that I would walk down my hallway hitting the doorknobs on the doors, acting like they're fans, to go jump on the bed and wrestle a pillow.
Yep. Yeah. Jump off dressers. How many beds did you to break growing up wrestling? How many casualties?
Broke my father's bed. It's king size. Me and my brother would wrestle on that. And then we broke our beds, and I don't know, probably 4.
Yeah. I have a high body count.
Sorry, Beds.
Yeah, a lot of legs snapped. We used to try to find like bricks or rocks in the woods and stuff them under the legs to try to balance it out so we didn't get caught breaking another one. It was rough times growing up for us, but that's me and my little cousins. That's all we did was when it says don't try this at home, we definitely tried this at home.
Oh yeah, of course.
Were you like a action figure wrestling dummy guy, like the Wrestling Buddies?
I had a Hogan and a Warrior.
They were game changers.
And then like my buddies down the street, they had like all the figures. They had like Macho Man, Ted DiBiase. They had those Wrestling Buddies, but they had all the not what is it, Hasbro's or whatever they're called.
Yeah.
Had like those, and I was like, oh man, you get all of them. I had like one.
Yeah, yeah. The Wrestling Buddies were a big thing. You went from wrestling pillows to wrestling an actual wrestling buddy, and they were perfect for suplexes. They were great.
Yeah, and then I buy like when I was younger, I was in Taekwondo, so I took my belts and I tied them all together to make ropes down in my basement, and I wrestled on a mattress down there with some stuffed animals. I had a penguin that I won at a bazaar. I called him Vince McPenguin. I had this blue bear with a bow tie that was like a pretty big bear. So it was like that was the blue bear. He would always beat me because I can't beat a stuffed animal.
Even in you booked yourself to lose in your own fantasy matches in the basement?
It was real to me, damn it.
That goddamn bear, he's still champion to this day.
I'll find you, bear.
If you still had it, you should bring him with you around. That's Private Party's new thing, I guess, on the AEW Dark. They're wrestling a teddy bear.
Perfect.
So, growing up, was there any breaks in being a wrestling fan, or did it carry all the way through?
There was a time, like fresh out of high school, that I didn't watch because I remember going to this dude's house. And he was playing like one of the SmackDown games, and he's like playing with this dude. I was like, who's that? He's like, this is Batista. I was like, who the hell is Batista? He's like, he's new. And he like created him. I was like, okay. I was like, maybe I'll put wrestling back on.
Yeah.
It wasn't that long because it was like, I graduated high school in 2003. And then it was probably from summer of 2003 back until that winter, because I remember going to Monday Night Raw in 2004, getting like fourth row seats and like being next to Ric Flair, like, and Batista and shit. So it wasn't that long. Pretty much I've been consistently like, the only time I really haven't watched wrestling is now, because I don't have cable and to like find it and like watch like the rehearsal. Like it's just weird watching without the fans or anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got rid of cable for a while. I had to pick up that Hulu Live TV. That's what works for me. I only problem is I don't get to watch Impact, which I'm really bummed about because I really like Impact's roster. I want to watch more of that.
Yeah, like I was watching. They used to have the website like usatv.go, and you could watch any channel. And I would just watch Raw on my phone and just sit there and play like GTA while watching Raw on my phone.
Mm-hmm.
I guess now you need to like to update something and like, come on, government, let me watch stuff for work.
How is it saying? See, I just got a thing saying Impact Wrestling is on Hulu. How is that possible?
I mean, Impact Wrestling is everywhere.
Yeah.
Like if you have Pluto TV or Pluto, whatever it's called, there's an Impact channel that plays all the old stuff and then like some of the new stuff too. So like you can go back and like sometimes it was like I was watching Street Sharks on the afternoon.
Oh my god, fucking Street Sharks. That's another thing too.
And then like
we may take some detours, ladies and gentlemen, if you're listening, because one thing that also we did
don't
find
come
out.
at my cartoon.
Yeah, one thing we found out, when we did our last interview is he's also huge into like video games, comic books, and old cartoons and stuff. So we may take some detours out of the wrestling world. So just stick with us here.
Yeah, I'm definitely a loser with everybody. Come on, guys.
Yeah, I mean, I think one goes with the other. When you're a wrestling fan, and then you're at your Sunday morning cartoons and your superhero stuff and your comic books, it all like. I just remember being a kid, and as much as I was into wrestling, I always loved the Ninja Turtles too, and they kind of went hand in hand with each other. Like, the toys were similar to size, and it was like, oh, cool, you know, Hulk Hogan's fighting Shredder today. You know what I mean? And then growing up and find out that Kevin Nash played Super Shredder, you're like, this is great.
Yeah, and you go nuts. And then, like, yeah, because I would do that too. And I'd be like, I'd have if you remember the movie star action figures of the turtles that were kind of rubbery?
Yeah.
They were perfect for, like, not Jax, but something that came out before Jax. They're, like, perfect size for the wrestling stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe, like, the WCW ones that didn't move. Because I remember always putting Sting and having somebody in a suplex, and he would just stand there because he would just hold him in that pose. The double bicep pose.
Yeah, the ones that were kind of like stuck like in the poses, they were all right when you were a kid, but when they changed them and they had the full articulation, that was a game changer. They were insane. Yeah,
because then I would be like, oh shit, Cyclops is about to attack Bret Hart.
Yeah, then the X-Men toys fit perfectly. Yeah. Yeah, I took a little break from the wrestling scene. Like high school, like right when I was about to graduate high school, I was in the same boat, and then I fell in love with mixed martial arts, and then I just really, really dove into like UFC, and I really got sucked into it, and then I had some friends who were super into wrestling, and they talked me into it. I went to their house for a party, and they're like, "Yo, we're gonna watch Royal Rumble," and I was like, "I'm in." Royal Rumble was my favorite, and then from then on, I was stuck. They sold me on the pay-per-view because they hyped up Daniel Bryan and CM Punk, and they said that if you're the reason you stop watching because you miss the older school style, these guys will bring it back for you. And I watched it, and I was like, holy shit, these guys are fantastic. And then right after that Royal Rumble, they were never to be seen ever again. So I was like, cool,
right?
Cool. And that's actually Batista won that Royal Rumble I watched, and then from there on out I kind of jumped back in. So there is a little bit of a gap of the Ruthless Aggression era that I did not watch. I kind of because you know, middle school, high school, you're more focused on, for me anyway, I was more focused on just trying to fit in and and sports and stuff. But growing up, were you athletic? Did you play sports, or were you into anything like that?
I didn't do like high school sports, but like I was on like, I played baseball, basketball. That's about really it. I mean, like organized style. Like I was on baseball teams. Like I made the all-star team.
Yeah.
Like I played basketball all the way up into high school. I just didn't play for the school. I played like, you know, like what's it, CEO or whatever, CO, whatever
Yeah.
the other shit is. But I mean, like I've always done stuff athletically. Like I'd always play football, like pick up games, but I'd play forever.
Mm-hmm.
I played on a flag football team for a little bit. I was the punter, kicking that ball. Like I golf now and like bowling and shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like I do stuff.
I can see, like, I'm not sure exactly if you're still rocking the hairstyle, but I know last time I seen you had the long hair on the one side, nothing on the other. I can imagine see you walk out on the golf course and turning some heads.
That's the goal.
Yeah,
hey, sir, get out of here, hole in one.
Yeah. So when did you say, you know what, I want to do this. This is something I want to be. I want to take it on. I want to start training and become a professional wrestler. What was that process like? How did it come about? Where did you find your school? How did you find your school and stuff like that?
Well, when I was 13 years old, my brother was actually like there was a company up here. I think it was TNT Wrestling or something like that. Like Kenny Casanova. And like a lot of these guys up here, like Brody Lee would like work out and do stuff there, I believe. Maybe not Brody. Maybe he was later on. But they had this thing there. They're like on Saturday, if like you paid a little bit of money, and they would let you come use the ring, and they would film the show for you and stuff. So like I begged my brother to let me go, and he's always like, "No, you're too young," because he was like 2 years older than me. Mm-hmm. So then like I went one time, and I was like, "Oh, I'm in a real ring. This is awesome." And then I always wanted to be in there, and then like years later, I ran into one of my friends from school that moved away, and I was like, "Hey, man, what's up?" He's like, "Oh, I work at a gym. I met a wrestler. I'm going to go train." And I said, "Really? Let me go check it out. I was in a ring once. I know how to do stuff."
I ran ropes.
Yeah, I bumped. And then, like, I went up to go train, and, yeah, so then I trained.
Is that was it for the same company, or what was it? Was it a different company?
No, I trained at the Do or Die Academy under JP Black. The Doc Pony.
Okay.
Yeah, I trained from him. We found the school via Oman Tortuga, one half of the Outcast Killers. he put us onto it, and then trained, and then I trained for like 9 months to like 10 months or whatever, and then I stopped training for like 3 years. I didn't do anything in wrestling. I was like, all right, I'm gonna go live my life. I guess I'll buy a house, have a girlfriend, all that crap. And then all that ended, and it was like, hey, there's a school opening up again. Let's go work out and see how it is. And then we worked out, and I was like, okay, let's just work on. And like, hey, we might give you guys a debut if you want to wrestle. Yeah, hell yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then 3 months later, after that, got put on the show, and then been off to the races since.
How long of training did it take before you were able to get your first match?
Well, like I said, I trained like 9 months, 10 months, and then didn't do anything. And then after like, I wasn't training again. When I started wrestling back again, it was like there was kids who were training, but we already knew stuff that obviously we didn't forget.
Mm-hmm.
And so we would just be working out in the ring, and then the company was like, hey, we want to use you. We're going to try to put you on this, that, and that. So, okay, cool.
Do you remember your first match, and how did it go?
My first match was a 6-man tag. It was me and my tag partner, the real R.L. Coleman. We were Capital Punishment. And Ian Daniels versus Drake Evans, Max Burton, and Vigo for In Your Face Wrestling. And it was the worst 16-minute match ever.
Just chaos.
I mean, it was okay. Like, I mean, I got to do like a cool thing and took a few cool bumps, but other than that, I really didn't know what I was doing. I was like, all right, cool. My gear is stupid. I look stupid. I'm dumb. I don't have a gimmick. I don't have a character. I'm just dumb. And then I had a headlock on a guy for a long time.
just holding the stall for the commercial break, right?
Yeah, for an hour. Iron Man match.
How long until you came up with your first gimmick or a character that you were really passionate about, or did you go right to the firework?
No, I've been Foxx Vinyer since I was like 14 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So like I was doing stuff, backyard and music and all that crap, and then so I just carried that over, and I was a Vindicator Foxx Vinyer, and it was just like we were Capital Punishment, and we were just like generic. Hey, we're beating everybody up, blah blah blah.
Yeah. How did you land Foxx Vinyer? Like, how did that name come about?
I was in my backyard wrestling as Poison. And then
Nice.
I was like, oh. And then I'm like, okay. So then WWF Attitude finally came out after forever. And then I was just sitting there playing the game and started thinking of names and put stuff together. And I was like, I don't want to be Eddie Gordo, Eddie Rico. That's already taken. And I started putting stuff together. Like, oh, this is cool. Oh, that's cool. And then I was like, this is me now. My friend's like, that sounds stupid. What is this? It's me. And then it was like, okay.
So there's no significance or meaning to each either of the names.
No, not really.
Just sounds cool. I mean, it
just sounded cool, and I was like, yeah, Zorro. I'm gonna Fox is Zorro means Fox. Yeah.
For some reason, I think because I always just kind of latched onto dark colors and dark, creepy horror and all that stuff. So every time I ever made a creative character, it was always just black, and I just dropped the well off my last name, so I was always black. I was like, yeah, I'm so edgy. I'm an emo kid just trying to fit in.
I would always like make me first. The first thing I ever did, I would once you could start creating a dude, it was like, yeah, go to Warzone. I'm gonna make myself, and then I made myself, and then I would get a game, and I would literally spend 4 hours just creating Foxx Vinyer on a game.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm like, all right, the look is done. Let's do the moves for another 6 hours, and then play, and then like, yeah. But I always would just try to get something cool looking, and then eventually it was like this and that. But now it's easier kind of because I actually have a look. I'm like, oh, I can just put my cotton candy on. I'm good to go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So when did the persona the look come to your character? The first time you donned the face paint and the wild colors and the boot tassels.
Well, I was wrestling, and I had a match, and I was like, all right, let me do something different. I'm just gonna I shave my head all the time, so I'm just gonna keep one little patch and see, and let that grow out. It would be cool. And then it was a month later, because I would always wrestle with a bandana. And so it was a month later, and I think I might have been wrestling Stevie Richards.
That's awesome.
And then and like the bandana came off or something, and someone was like, "Hey, you missed the spot. Hey, get a haircut." Blah 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 blah. And then like after that match, I walked back and I was like, "Huh, I don't have to do anything because they just make fun of my hair. So I'm gonna keep growing it." And then I kept growing it out, whatever. And then I was just trying to figure something out. Like I would always come out and throw like confetti in the air, and like because I can't have fireworks, I'm like, I just have confetti.
Yeah.
And like started doing that, and I was like, hey, I can't have fireworks. How about I just be firework? I'll be colorful. That's cool. Yeah, that sounds cool. Firework Foxx, blah blah blah. And then like I started painting my face. And I was like, let me try this, try that, try that. And it was in the middle of August in St. Albans, Vermont, sweating balls. And so I painted my face with like shitty paint, and it dripped down into my beard. And I was like, you know what? I don't care. I'm gonna keep it. Let's see. Let's just go out and wrestle.
Yeah.
I was in like a 10-man tag match, and like there was more people in the match than the crowd. And so one of the guys in the match is cutting a promo, and on the other side of the squad, like I was on the baby side, and on the other side, my tag partner and best friend was on the other side. So as the one homie's cutting the promo, like, you know, you want to come out here and face us. So I would just like walk on the outside of the ring yelling, "He wants to face us!" And just like repeating what he would say. and then my best friend starts laughing on the other side of the ring. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to keep making him laugh for this match. And we're going to have fun because we just drove 3 hours for this $10 bullshit. Let's see what's up. And then it was just like, he's like, yo, that shit was hilarious, bro. I was like, I'm just doing whatever. Just keep doing it. It's funny. Just don't be serious anymore. Just be you. Be who you are. Just be who you are.
So,
all right, let me try it.
So what?
And I was like,
so what you're saying? A lot of what you do is just you being yourself, just kind of being funny, being charismatic. Just it's not so much a character; it's just kind of who you are as a personality, shining through.
Oh yeah, it's literally me just with tights on.
Yeah, which is really cool because I'm gonna be honest. The first couple times I seen you at PPW, when you're not, you know, in your full thing and you kind of just have your hood up and your bandana, you kind of just stay to yourself. You stay real quiet, and I'm like, I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna go say anything. He's intimidating, and then now that I know you and you're like a big goofball and you're into like really cool stuff and you're like, it's a different thing. But yeah, the first couple times I seen you, I was like, I'm not going over there.
It's working.
Yeah, I mean, you're doing your job, right?
Yeah, like that's what I was doing. And then like as far as the look, like I would like try at first. I had like my one singlet that I ordered that was part of my tag team, so it was like black and orange.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, well, orange is a color. And I was like, oh, I have a yellow boot, I have a white boot, I'll wear that. I'll wear a blue sock and a purple sock because fireworks are very colorful. Yeah, looks definitely real. And I was like, oh, I had this sparkly shirt that I got at the Goodwill from the old lady section. I'll wear that too. And then threw that on. I was like, okay, I'm kind of doing something here. A little bit of the paint didn't really match. Nothing. Then I did like a few ROH camps, and they were like, hey, like you have something. Just try to make this match that, this, and like get it a thing.
Mm-hmm.
So then I just started like, okay, what could fire? What do I want? What's gonna be cool? And like I had something that was like a black and red with like a little bit of a tassel, but like it didn't. The guy who I ordered it from, it didn't come out good, and I was like, lame. So then I like repackaged and like, all right, let me try this. I want to put this here, get the boom on there, put my name on the back of this thing. That's going to be this color, and then I'll be able to, you know, I'm going to paint my beard the same color, and I'll make everything bounce off the black. Like have the black as the dark sky, and the colors will be the firework boom.
Yeah, it works.
And then I just matched everything, and I like the tassels because I like old school wrestling. And then it was like, plus it makes everything more animated. If I'm going to kick somebody, you see that shit fly, you know?
Well, also too, like the tassels kind of going with the whole firework thing, like those one fireworks that go up and pop, and they kind of disappear for a second, and then they crackle and they kind of go down in the sky. That looks like the tassels.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you like kick or whatever, I throw feet up in the air. If I'm doing a dive, they look like fireworks and shit.
Mm-hmm.
So then I started adding a little bit more this and that, more colors, more this. And then I did some grungy stuff. Like I put like a jean jacket on or whatever to go with. I made the hair blonde and just to pop more. And then like, well, now I kind of changed a little bit back more, but it just all evolves and goes with what is going on. Because I mean, like, obviously I've been doing the firework thing for a long time. People know it. They're like, oh, that's the guy with the silly hair who can wrestle. And then, but like, obviously I'm not signed to a major company, so there's something that they're not wanting, or maybe they just don't know yet. Who knows? I don't know. I don't run things, you know what I'm saying? But so I'm just keep evolving now, and just once of course I got brand new gear. I was ready to go. I had one match at PPW, then the world shut down.
Yeah.
Like, no.
Yeah.
And, like, so I'm just here waiting. So I tried like doing something. I'll throw like the beanie on that I always wear literally for the last 6 years. That same hat. Do this, do that. Maybe get like, because some companies are like, hey, you have this like, you're very intense looking, man. Like, what if you are like that? I say, yeah, I guess, but you're gonna have a boring wrestler because it's not really me. You're not gonna get like something worth your money. But if you're gonna pay me, that's what you want me to do. Fine. Here comes generic Steve.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I personally, man, who the hell am I? But honestly, like, ever since every time I went to a PPW show, you're always, now for me personally, I'm into a look. I'm into the gimmick. Like, I grew up as a Goldust fan. Like, anything that was kind of different looking than everything else, it drew me in. So every single show that I ever went to, or when I brought a friend, or I brought my brother when he was home from the military, when we get in the car and we start driving home, you're almost always the first or second name that pops in that says that I remember that guy, because you have such a unique look and different character. I mean, I know like the frustration, like maybe not getting noticed, so maybe you have to change things up, but I don't know, man. I like it a lot. Like, even when you were on TV, like with ROH and stuff like that, and you made appearances with Impact, it was, your character stood out, you know?
I don't think it's that I'm not getting noticed. I think people don't know what to do when they are like, hey, this guy has something. He can do some shit in the ring. He has a character. He can talk on the microphone. He has it. What do we do? Instead of asking like, hey, man, what would you like to do? Oh, here's an idea. I can have this with this guy. This, blah, blah, blah. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, a bunch of
I can definitely see
things.
too how promoters definitely want to push you to more the intense thing, because you are a big dude, like, and you have a very intense look. But I think that's what makes you different as well, is where normally a guy with your build and I mean, you work your ass off for your physique and your size. So kudos to you for your hard work. But I think a lot of people see that the muscle on you and see you're a dude, and you're very stocky and you look super intimidating, and you can beat up half the locker room just by looking at them. And then you come out and you're colorful and you have tassels and your face paint and you're kind of goofy. It's like, wow, like maybe it's kind of taken back, but I think that's my personal thing about it that I like. Because like, and here's the thing I look at too, it's like, no one's gonna ever come up to you and say, oh, your hair's stupid, because you're an intimidating looking dude. Like, no one's gonna be like, yeah, cool, I like the hair. Well, you know what I mean? Like, so it's kind of that thing that like you define, like, I dare you to say something about it, kind of like that's kind of your character. Like, you don't really give a shit about opinions, and you just kind of you're yourself, and I kind of dig it.
Like, there's been matches where I've walked out, people are like it was quiet, like, what who is this? Like, what's this guy? Like, hey, what do we do? We don't know. Do we cheer for this? Like, he looks kind of this and that. But, and then, so, like, I do my thing. I get in the ring. And then, you know, I turn it up. And they're like, hey, Jimmy, we like this guy.
Yeah.
Let's cheer for him. Yeah, you know. Because then they're like, oh, because I engage the crowd. And it's like that guy in the front row who's like, I don't know if I like you, man. Yeah, you do. Come here, man.
Yeah, it takes
people
some it takes people some time to, like, when you put your hand out to clap hands when you're coming down, people are like, what do I do here? I actually, by the time this airs, it'll probably come out. So I've been asked to help out with some stuff with PPW when it comes to what they're doing now during the quarantine is they're picking matches, like the best of matches, and each of us get to, like, pick a match, and then we do, like, a little promo about the match and kind of do some segues. And I got to pick my first match with, like, helping them out, and I actually picked you and Rembrandt's debut, and you were coming off the title loss to Isaac Rule. And I thought you and Rembrandt had a really, really good match. And the reason I picked it is because I think you're both really, really awesome characters within PPW. And since that match, you guys have both, like, had really big successes and are always in the title picture no matter where you are. So that's the match I picked. And I did throw a firework reference in there too. So wait till you hear it, you'll like it.
I like that match because when I was thinking about it, I was like, hey, you have a character. I can work with someone who has a character.
Mm-hmm.
Like I wrestled this one cat, and like I'm like, hey man, like what's your thing? What's your thing? You know, breaking kayfabe. Sorry guys, fuck guys. And he's like, what? I'm like, what's your thing? He's like, well, I'm kind of just like a Marine. Like I'm kind of like a intimidating guy. I said, yeah, but you're like 5 foot. Like you're not intimidating me.
Yeah,
I'll smack you up, little bitch. Smack you up, little bitch. But then I'm like, I go, hey man, like I don't know if you enjoy like comedic wrestling or little silly shit, but this will be fun. He's like, what do you mean? I said, everyone's gonna think you're this serious cat coming out here, but you're not standing up to me.
Mm-hmm.
But if you play along, and then it's like this and that. So I was like, all right, hey man. So I didn't even tell him like what I wanted to do. I said, hey, just go out and just follow what I do. So we went out, and the crowd's like, you know, they're all with me because they're like, hey, cool, I'm kind of like near my hometown. And he comes in the ring, they're like, hey, here comes little guy in trunks, generic Steve, whatever.
Yeah.
But then I played to the crowd, and I was like, hey man, you go up on this turnbuckle. This will help you. So he goes up on the turnbuckle, they start booing him. He starts playing along like, what are you booing me for, man? Did the whole thing. I said, hey, you're doing it wrong. Try this turnbuckle that I was on. So he went over to my turnbuckle. They booed the shit out of him. He's like, it's not working. So like he started being a little bit more loose and just being like a generic dude who was coming out. And then like we had the referee go up. They cheered for the ref.
Yeah.
He went up. They booed him again. And it was awesome. We literally wasted 5 minutes doing this. And then everything he did meant something more because they were like, hey, let's boo him. And now he's cheating to beat Foxx up. Boo to you even more.
Yep.
But he would jump into a little bit more personality. I was like, hey man, just have fun. Like, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
And then like, I loved that match. I was really happy with it because we did cool stuff, and it got to get him being a little bit different. He's like, hey, I'd really just do like kicks and stuff. I said, that's fun for nobody. Let's do something. You know?
Yeah, that reminds me a lot of like Andy's match with Gilbert. Like you go in with a match with Gilbert, you know he can't do much, but the way Andy worked, they worked the crowd. They worked the crowd for literally. It was a 15-minute match, but there was only 3 minutes of wrestling, and the rest of it was just working the crowd and really getting them invested in what they were watching, and that's super important. And even with you, like as soon as you hit the crowd, you have the confetti with the like. Is it like a popper? I never really actually seen what you do there, but it's a loud pop. And then the confetti goes flying.
Yeah.
Is that like is it like a popper gun or what? How do you is that what it is?
Yeah. Yeah, it's like a cannon.
Yeah.
Get off my shit.
Well, I never actually seen it because the way you hide it very well too, where like it goes off and then you discard it like super quickly, so I don't even see where it came from because my eyes are the pop gets me. I look over there, then the confetti's everywhere, and then I don't see where it comes from. So there's a little bit of a mystery to it, which is cool. But
because because the first thing when I first started doing it, like I was just throwing actual confetti up, but then it was getting on people's stuff.
Yeah.
People were like, hey man, my wife thinks I'm at the strip club and stuff. I said, you probably are,
Yeah.
But then, like, I had the boom. I was like, hey, I can't actually have pyro at places, so let me just try this. And then it worked, and I was like, okay. And I created my music myself. Like, I mixed it and did everything myself.
Mm-hmm.
So I have it queued up, so when there is that in there, oh, my cat just came over because she comes to whistles. Hello, Dina. So, like, at times in the song, boom, and then I hit the boom at the part where the music comes in, and people are like, "Oh shit!"
It's funny when people aren't expecting it because you do scare the shit out of people sometimes, and it's awesome.
Oh, that's great.
Like if someone's sitting by ramp and they don't know what to expect, I always watch them people and they're like, like the pop, and you're like, "Oh, what the hell!" Like it's
what the hell?
It's awesome. I love it. What is that like? Do you have to like buy like a whole party pack of poppers and just kind of keep them in your bag, like?
I mean, sometimes. Like, I mean, I sometimes buy them in bulk.
Yeah.
I just have them sitting around my house all the time.
You get bored. You're like,
but like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, I feel like sweeping my floor. But
now,
like, yeah, I mean.
Now I know it's a big thing too, where wrestlers like to have like that variant gear, or they have like a gear that represents something. Is there going to be anything like that in the future? Are we going to see like the firework as like a Ninja Turtle or any or superhero?
Well, I asked the one Andy Header to create something for me, and like gave him a design last July, and he hasn't done shit with it yet.
Oh, I'll get on him.
So probably not.
I'll get on him. Andy's the guy who.
Because if I was,
yeah,
I would go with how Booster Gold looks. Because I have actually looking at a figure of him right now that I have.
Yeah.
And I would just change the colors to my cotton candy colors.
Yeah.
And like make it a singlet. Like it'd be cool instead of like having the star and like whatever. It'd be cool to get one of those head things. I don't have hair to pop out, goggles or whatever.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. I mean, a lot of people do it, and I figure like, I don't want to have a cosplay outfit per se.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I get it. Like how like Johnny Wrestling has like, oh, this looks like the Wolverine stuff or whatever. Me, I would try to like. So you can't even use like things that I like because they're so mainstream now. Because I was a Deadpool fan way back when I was a kid, and then like Spider-Man, being able to use that. So I would just try to take it, and that's why with the new one I have, it's just kind of flames. I literally made it on SmackDown or whatever 2K. So here, man, let me just try to make something here, just simple. But I'd have to figure it out. I have to do something cool. Maybe like I don't know. I'm no artist, so I don't know. Somebody make me gear. I know you're listening to this in 10 years.
Yeah, when it comes out. Yeah, actually, the Johnny Gargano one that we just at. So we're stamping this. This is a Wednesday after In Your House happened. This weekend coming up is gonna be Backlash. So now you know where we're standing when it comes to real world time when this airs. We were staring at. We were all like, Andy was saying that Gargano's gear was Ant-Man, and I was like, I don't think it's Ant-Man. And we just kept watching it, and then I guess he tweeted later. He's like, "Oh, my gear was inspired by the Mandalorian because I guess that chest piece he came out with the cape." And I was like, "Oh, I'm not a Star Wars guy, so I didn't get it." But yeah, I do like that sometimes.
I didn't even know Takeover was on because I don't have any TV. I haven't watched anything. I'm like I try to like Google stuff and see things, but I don't. By the time I got it, I was like, "Oh."
Yeah, it was In Your House. They recreated In Your House, and they actually had the set on there, like the first time WWE's used a set in forever. It was fucking awesome.
That's cool. I wish they had the red, white, and blue ropes. I saw pictures, but give me the red, white, and blue ropes, damn it.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, man. It unless you want a spoiler, did you hear about who won or anything?
I mean, I read a bunch of it because like when I'm in my truck, I just like, yep, let me just read everything.
Yeah, three women in wrestling right now are women's champions, and they're all Japanese, which is super cool. EO won. Asuka's a champion, and then over in AEW, their champion is a Joshi. So it's pretty cool to see that kind of turn in culture, and they're getting their dues. Honestly, man, I wanted EO to win so bad, but I did not think they were going to let her win. I thought she was there to be the fall for either Charlotte or Rhea, like to kind of make them go over. And when she won, I was like, holy shit, good for her. Like I was really happy.
And then didn't Charlotte jump into the title picture the next day, like, hey, wait.
Oh yeah, well, people get really mad about that, but I'm like, she's Charlotte Flair. That's exactly what her character should do. She should just walk up and be like, you can just hand me your title now. Like that's kind of what makes her a Flair.
It doesn't do it for me. Like I don't like watching it because I'm like, oh, you're always gonna be a chick. Like who can't you beat? Just my thing. I've tweeted this like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, and sometimes it pops up on a Facebook memory or something. Like Charlotte needs to go for like the U.S. title or like the IC title.
There's a rumor that she's going to try to go for a men's title.
But like, it should I get like a men's title, but like it should just be the IC. Like IC or U.S. She should go for one of those and then make history doing that, and then that could add to her character of like I did this. I mean, like China did it.
Yeah.
Why can't Charlotte Flair?
I honestly wish WWE would get away from that. Because like their whole flaw is the reason they don't do men and women matches or intergender matches is because they don't want to promote. They think they're promoting domestic violence, and I'm like, okay, I see your stand there, but then you're 100% cool all the time with a woman attacking a man, so that's a huge double standard. So then what do you even like? Your whole rule goes out the window. Just have an intergender match, and it'll be fun. Like as long as you're not like. I don't know, like when a promotion does it and it's not like a guy versus a girl and it's just she's in there and she belongs there, they're fun. I like that. Like I like in the indie scene, like when Adina Steele gets in a match with somebody and they treat her as an equal and they go out and have a war. It's like that was a great fucking match. Like I liked it, you know. Or like Christina Marie at PPW. Yeah, I don't know. I just wish that barrier would just come down.
I'll smash her up
That'd be a fun match, you versus Christina Marie. I'd watch that.
I want to face her, if I haven't by the time this happens in August, and Masha. I'm ready to fight her.
Nice. Well,
Masha Slime.
so since
She knows tweet her every day. About to beat you up.
yeah, I'm gonna come at you like a spider monkey. That should be your thing. I'm all hyped up on Mountain Dew.
Hyped up on Mountain Dew.
Yeah. Pop your firework, chug a Mountain Dew, and run to the ring.
That's the new gimmick.
Yep, and then put a T-shirt. I'm all hyped up on MD because you'll get so you don't avoid the copyrights. And then you could make a Mountain Dew flavor. You could make Mountain Dew flavored colored gear. Boom, we just nailed it. You have a Code Red gear.
There it is.
You have a Baja Blast gear, regular Mountain Dew. We're onto something.
Only Baja.
Yeah, and then like you can get your name, and it looks like the Mountain Dew logo, but it's a clear logo spoof. Yeah,
Exactly. And then I hand out straws.
Yep.
And then like taco shells. Oh my God, he slammed them on the taco shell.
Oh my god, a death match, but you have a bag and you just pull out taco shells.
And then by the end of it, it just looks like Double Dare.
I'm completely into all this. I love it.
I'm very hungry now.
Yeah, when the Foxx Mountain Dew shirt comes out, I'll be wearing it.
You hear that, designers? Create it for me.
Yep, let's make it happen. So you got done your training. We're Tarantino in here. You got some matches under your belt. What are some notable matches that you had, or are some? We talked about the Blue Meanie. Who were some names you wrestled?
No, I'm gonna lose. I have a whole line of action figures on my wall of people that I've worked with that autographed them for me. So I have.
That's awesome.
My first times with Tommy Dreamer were fun.
Oh, I love
like
Tommy
at first, it was like everyone I was doing stuff with was all ECW. So it was like Stevie Richards was my first ever name. Like I was like, oh my God, LVW gave me that match in 2014 maybe. And like then from there it was like 911 chokeslam me after that match, and then it was like later on it was like, oh, Tommy Dreamer, and then I went and wrestled Sandman in Maine. And I was like, anyone else wanna from ECW?
Yeah.
I had my first ROH match against Bobby Fish. It was like a little Future of Honor 2 in Delaware. That was cool. Yeah, I mean, like wrestling Disco Inferno and Molina was pretty dope. Misco Inferno.
Mm-hmm.
Disco Inferno was a recipient of the Topanga Unchained.
When you was Fish like a full match? Like you had a 1-on-1 with Bobby Fish?
Well, it was like a gauntlet. Fish was going through a gauntlet, and then like it was me. I can't think of the third guy. Sorry, man. And then Dalton Castle, who didn't want to make his debut at that show because he was above. He's like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. But they picked him. So It was like a little gauntlet thing. I came out. It's only like 2.5 minutes long. Oh, whatever.
Bobby Fish is awesome. I'll definitely try to find that on the internet.
I don't even know if it's on the internet. I mean, I'll send you it through Facebook because I have it on my phone. It's only 2.5, whatever.
Yeah.
But like I walk out and you can see like the beginnings of what I was. It was just I had like I went to paint my face, but then like there was this dude who painted his whole body. Like, well, I can't come out looking with face paint. This guy's his whole body painted.
Yeah.
So like came out, got in the ring. Whatever. They spelled my name wrong. But then, like, I hit the Topanga Unchained on him, and then he made me tap out. Yeah. So what? But that was a cool thing because I got to be like, yo, I just wrestled. And one, I had a new state, which was Delaware. I was like, this is dope. And I got to show some ROH cats, like, hey, this is what I've been doing. And then, like, whatever. Like, another match stands out is my ROH triple threat match versus Mikey Webb and Chase Brown. That's one of my favorite matches to watch because I was a shining star in that, I thought. And a lot of the guys backstage have told me, like, hey, like, you don't need to wear the tassels because you're so aggressive in there and this, and that. And I was like, yes, I understand. Like, I get that, definitely. But, like, a firework is aggressive. Like, it explodes.
Mm-hmm.
But, nothing. What else do I like? My match last year defending the PPW belt that I had. And the No Limits title I defended it. here against King Leon the Sixth. That match is one of my favorite matches. That shit is dope.
Mm-hmm.
That's on the YouTube. Go ahead, search it. It's really cool. Yeah.
You beat Header.
I like that.
You beat Header for you defended against Header.
Yeah, and he brought 3 other goons to the ring, and I beat all.
Yep.
Oh, yo,
I'm so happy he's out of that stable. I'm not gonna lie. That stable was just huge. I think it was just the only. I think you were the only guy that was a babyface that wasn't like. I mean, every heel on the roster was in that stable at one point in time. Like
I was with the punk rock, and then I was like, you know what? It's time for me to go.
Yeah, and they're like, hey, we'll put these guys together because they both have face paint. And I was like, I don't know. Like you didn't. For me, like it. When you broke out of it, I was like, I think that's a better move. Like I think they do their thing and you have you have your own thing. I just didn't think. I think matching you guys together wasn't. I wasn't. And I'm a huge punk rock All Stars fan, but I just think you're two different style characters.
Right, and it was more like because we did like the seminar thing, and that's how we got noticed. And they were like, they had a different match set up for us, and then I think one of the punk rock guys were like, hey, he has weird hair and his nails are painted. Why don't he just team with me or us?
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, go ahead. I said, hey, I'll be right back, guys. Let me put on my pink and green stuff that we all just happen to have. And then, like, it worked. Like, it looked cool, and, like, we could do some stuff. And I told him, I was like, yo, if you guys want to try some trio shit and try to do stuff elsewhere, let's do it. But nothing really
visually you're the same. You look super similar. Even like outside the ring, they're huge in the comic books and pop culture and nerdy shit too. So like it's a match made in heaven. But I just think they get lumped into a heel role a lot, and I think you're a better babyface. That whole confusing the crowd thing, it's definitely an obstacle you have to overcome every single time you hit a new promotion. But I think it's at the point now where when you hit the promotion, even at PPW, I think sometimes people are still confused. But by the end of the match, you definitely win them over.
It's like, well, it's because they don't know. The fans don't know because the promoters usually don't know. They're like, hey, we're gonna have them come in. Because when they ask me, like, hey, like, what do you prefer, babyface or like a heel? Like, what's your style? I said, I can do anything. Whatever you guys need. You're hiring me.
Yeah.
However, you're going to get a more entertaining match with people who want to come back if they're cheering for your boy.
Yeah.
Because then I could just be me amped up. If I'm being a heel, now I got to go out and be like, all right, what am I mad at today?
Yeah.
You know? Or like, how is, like, the firework character does not work as a heel. Why? Because I am in the middle of a heel thing, and then I'll just break character or trying to be heel and just go into normal me. Be like, oh shit, I shouldn't be doing that. Oh no, I'm having fun. No, it's ruining it. But like, that's why I feel like if they're just like, hey, go out and do this, okay, cool. Like I can be heel. Like I've been heel and I switched it up. Like I've darkened the colors and I've painted the face different and I've been more aggressive. No confetti. I think people just want me to be heel so I don't shoot confetti because they don't want to clean it up. Listen, you hired me. You have greens. Clean the shit up yourself.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I feel like there's some promoters who are like, hey, what do you do? How do you want to do it? I said, well, here's my idea. And they're like, that's amazing. Don't change anything. Let's rock and roll.
Mm-hmm.
Even when I'm like, no, I'm going to be a heel today. Like, hey, we kind of want you to baby face this out because we think you could get this guy over. Oh, okay, whatever you need. Hey, man, that match was amazing.
Mm-hmm. So what are some promotions that you work for? I mean, obviously PPW is the one I know you from, but what are some promotions you work for, or ones that I don't want to, I'm not saying which ones you would prefer to work for. I'm just saying where else can people see you wrestle?
Well, currently nowhere. But when things were starting to pop off, like I was about to go to Titan in Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
There was another spot in Jersey too. I can't think of the name. I'm so dumb. Sorry, guys. I just wore the T-shirt yesterday. I'm such an idiot. But yeah, like they're like a new company that's just starting out. That's why I don't remember the name. I mean, it's on the tip of my tongue. I can't think of it. But when I think of it, I'll tell you. So like there. Where else? I don't know. Sometimes I was doing a Monster Factory for a bit, but then like they shut down, started doing like different things. I was doing Future of Honor, but then they moved and started doing other things too. And then like World of Hurt Wrestling, where I'm one half of the tag team champions with Nick Sullivan. Whenever that starts back up. Oh, the other company that's the Foundation of Wrestling out of Jersey.
Okay.
They're like a new brand starting in like I only did the one show there and it was awesome. I had a really good match. I had fun. It was cool. So look out for those guys. But yeah, like as of there, not really do much. I was focused on keeping stuff on, what do you call it? Like a regular, and rather than wrestling everywhere, I was trying to be a roster guy. Like before all this happened, I was debuted at like 3 different places, and then the world shut down. I was like, no, why? I'm so close to doing them.
Mm-hmm. Now,
like
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Okay,
well, I was gonna do like in January, Billy Gunn invited me to go down to like an AEW show. I'm like, all right, cool. And then that show got canceled or rescheduled. I'm like, Then like Impact got rescheduled, and I was like, And then like this and that.
Do you still?
So,
you
we'll
should.
see.
I mean, it looks like they're trying to snatch people up all the time for AEW Dark. Did you ever try to reach back out and be like, hey, Billy, I'll drive down and do a Dark if you need me.
Yeah, I mean, I've been reaching out as for when this airs. Who knows? I could have been on a bunch of times by the time this actually debuts or airs for you, but
yeah,
I have been reaching out and this and that. Like my buddy Zach actually just wrestled QT Marshall 2 days ago, last night, whatever the hell it was.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's all timing. It's all like the right place, right this and that. Who you know, who can help you out, who can do this for you, or what, you know what I'm saying? Like I just like my whole like I was going with the gimmick. It's on my gear now. Like the right eye is crossed out on some of my logos because I'm not in front of the right eyes.
Mm-hmm.
So like, put me in front of the right person. Hey, ready, action. Okay, let's use them. You know, once I can show somebody what I can do rather than, hey, because I mean, there's 10,000 people going for the same gig. So it's hard. And it's like, stand out and you do something different. Then they're like, oh, we kind of want just generic wrestling. Okay, I can wrestle. Let me just put a hat. You know what I'm saying? Like,
no.
So it's just a matter of time. It's all timing and all that.
You're from the New York area. Did you ever try to get in more with House of Glory?
They're impossible.
It's impossible to get in there.
I mean, like, I guess you have to be a student or something. Like all those dudes are like my boys down there and stuff, and I tried, but they say like it's really hard to get there. So
Yeah.
once all this turns back up, because they're about 2 hours away, 3 hours away from me.
That promotion really, really impresses me. I mean,
yeah, it's amazing. I want to go there. Like, I want to just go and watch the show and meet
Everyone's so
everybody and
good.
be like, hey, what's good? You know
yeah.
what I'm saying?
And I mean, a lot of those guys. Here's the thing I try to explain to people from like PPW fan base, because I'm very an outside source guy. Like I'm just a podcast guy. My opinion, my views mean shit. But what I try to express to people is, there's a lot of big promotions in Pennsylvania who do really, really cool things, and really, really good talent goes there. PPW is high on that list. Like, people don't realize how talented a lot of that roster of PPW is, and a big chunk of that talent is all the House of Glory guys. Like, I don't think I've ever seen it when someone gets in the ring and they start wrestling. I'm like, holy fuck, these guys are good. And then I'm like, where are they from? And like, oh, they drove up all together. They're the House of Glory guys. I'm like, well, that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like, I've never seen one guy who took that car ride with that stable of people, came down to PPW, and were terrible. They were all fantastic.
Right, and that's why I'm waiting to, like, I've pitched ideas to, like, I want to wrestle this dude. Like, I want Evander James one-on-one.
Yeah.
I've wrestled him here and there, like, in, like, 4-ways and stuff, like, over the years, but we never sat down and had a one-on-one, which I know, one, would be an amazing match, and two, I'll beat him down. You know what I'm saying? Like, it'll be dope.
Yeah.
But it's just, like, it's kind of the thing where I feel like people take a guy like Evander, and people look at him and be like, all right, let's put him here. And then they look at me and are like, well, maybe he is a character that won't really fit with this over here. But I feel like a lot of people are missing out because they're just looking at how I look and like, oh, he's kind of a joke wrestler.
Yeah.
Rather than, oh, this motherfucker can do some shit.
Where in House of Glory,
Like,
I think you'd be a good fit because they know how to take a character like yours and make it legit. Like, main event, if you tell people, hey, there's a guy and he's a ringleader and he has a pet lion that wrestles with him, you're like, what is this slapstick? Like, what's Jim Cornette's thing? What is this bullshit? You know what I mean? But like, then you watch them wrestle and you're like, I want to watch Main Event wrestle every week. Then there's a guy who's named Butter. You know what I mean? And you're like, really? And then you see him wrestle and you're like, holy shit. Then there's the Nola, the ninja. You're like, really? You know, and then you watch him, you're like, what this is crazy. Like, these are all fantastic.
And you know what all of those dudes have in common besides being from the same spot?
No.
I'll tell you. Every single one of them who has been in the ring with me, because I've been in the ring with all fucking 4 of them.
You're right.
Our shit is so crisp together. That's why I'm like, give it, like me and Charles Mason. Our stuff was awesome.
I'm huge. I'm really big on Charles Mason. That kid's a superstar.
I know. That's why I want to get you 1-on-1. I want Evander 1-on-1. Like, I want to wrestle Butter again 1-on-1. I mean, I took his mask off because I'm a bad guy. Remember, I take masks off.
Yeah.
However, my leg was hurt, and I didn't give it everything I could because I think I snapped something in my leg like a week before, because I was like, you can see of that match, I run the ropes and then like I start limping.
Yeah.
Because it activated and I was like, oh shit. So I was like, damn it. Especially when he jumped off the top rope and I caught him in a suplex position. I was like, oh no, I'm sorry, brother.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I want to be able to wrestle him full, because I've wrestled him at PWA in Connecticut back in the day at the Pro Wrestling Academy. And like, again, we had some really good stuff. Like, because those are all dudes who are like, hey, what do you guys want to do? Or, hey, what do you do? Oh, well, I do this, I do this, I do this. Oh, really? I do this, I do that. Let's put them together and make magic. You know what I'm saying? Like, I encounter a lot of people who are like, I do like a kick. Sometimes I do like enziguri. I do this. Like, oh, you don't have any movesets? You're a play wrestler? Great. Grand. Wonderful. No yelling on the bus. Give me someone who can do some shit and watch Foxx Vinyer do some shit.
Yeah.
You know
I mean, I don't think I've ever seen a match where you at PPW where I was not impressed with it. I'm just being honest. I mean, even when they stick you in like the 6-man tags where there's like, hey, we need to put people on the spot in the show. Let's throw them in this match. Even those matches are super entertaining, and I think you do a good job with them. Yeah, I mean, listen, man. Every time you're on the card, I'm always looking for it on the spot to see what you're gonna do there. I definitely look forward to it. Now, we kind of said some names there. What are some other names that you would really like to work, that you would like to square off with?
In general, or at a PPW?
We can start with PPW, and then we can kind of branch out and go other places.
PPW, those dudes, the House of Glory dudes that I named.
Mm-hmm.
Those are really it. I mean, like, I've worked with them before, but I want like that 1-on-1. I want another match with Rembrandt because we had like a cool thing. We had like a little story going. You know what I'm saying? Since
the Rumble, where he eliminated you, right? He threw you out of the Rumble.
I think so.
Yeah.
I believe. I don't lose. I'm never losing.
Yeah.
But as for moving on, like when they were gonna do the Impact show, was supposed to happen in this weekend. Is this what I'm talking about? Like last weekend? Supposed to be this weekend or close to this, wherever we are now.
Yeah.
I was pushing for me versus Michael Elgin.
Ooh, that'd be cool.
And I was pushing for that, and PPW was like, okay, well, let's just see how we are, whatever. And I said, here you go. And I screenshotted the tweet that Elgin was like, I want to wrestle you. Let's do some shit.
Mm-hmm. That would be a cool thing because you guys are both, very powerful guys. That'd be an interesting match. But you guys can both move as well.
Yeah, and I want to learn from him because he's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And he's cool as shit. I can message him and be like, yo, what up? Can you watch my match? Can you give me some pointers? And he always says yes, and he always helps me out. So I'm like, now I want to wrestle you. Now I want to show people that I can keep up with you, who can keep up with everybody. Let's, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of that out there.
Yeah, I love the Impact roster. I just think they have a cool roster, man. Like, I'm very, very impressed with it. I think they're a lot of fun to watch. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, and they all want to be there. And they all want to help the squad.
Yeah,
which makes like one of my most frustrating things in wrestling is everywhere I go, everyone knows who I am.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, "You're not signed here?" Nope. Why not? I don't know. Like, oh, why don't somebody use this guy? You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people are like, why aren't we using him? But then nobody does anything. So it's like, oh, what do I need to do? And I ask people, hey, what do you need me to do? Do you want me to wrestle as a sandwich? I'll be a sandwich. Here comes me. I'm about to let this happen. You know what I'm saying? But like, it's just this and that. But I mean, time. I'm just waiting for my time.
Mm-hmm.
In the meantime, I'm just going to keep getting my body right, get my gear right, get my character right, work on everything I do. That way, when they're like, hey, ring, can you come? Yup. Ready to go.
Yeah, like I said, I'm very high on you. I think you're very good at what you do. I'd like to see more. Unfortunately, you know, the way I work, it's very hard to get outside of a 50-mile radius of where I live. So I'm very heavily on, you know, shows like PBW and Outbreak Wrestling. Outbreak Wrestling too would be another one you'd be really fun to go to. And here's the thing, man. One of the things like I'm trying to do is, you know, the more I do these interviews and I talk to people, like I've done 2 interviews already, even before this one, where they're a promoter out of Maryland and they're a promoter out of Delaware. And I've never talked to them before until they asked to be on my show. And so they're inviting me to come to their shows in Delaware and Maryland to do stuff. And then if I can do an interview with a guy like you or anyone else who I've interviewed, and they're like, hey, I listened to your interview because I like what you do, you know, it just connecting more gaps for people to get more work in places, you know?
Right, because you could be talking to a promoter who's like, hey, I'm going to start this up, and they build a big roster, and they may have heard, oh, yeah, I know this guy, but they didn't watch any stuff. Like, I've sent stuff to somebody who's like, hey, I just want you, like, how you look in the pictures in the gym. Just come out like that and just rough people up. Okay. Yeah. And then that'll work for a little bit, and then eventually they're going to be like, do you mind painting up? We have a birthday party or something. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's hilarious. I like that. Yeah.
Or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, that's honestly, at the end of the day, when I first started this, you know, we're coming up on 2 years. It was just a bunch of friends sitting around a table talking wrestling. And then we dove into the local scene, and I was like, man, we can make an impact. You know what I mean? Like, no pun intended, but like we can do stuff for people. Like we can help give a guy who maybe is not given or a girl an opportunity to cut a promo, and we can help them facilitate that because we have cameras, or we can have them call in and literally talk where people can hear them for who they are and talk about how much they love pro wrestling and what they want to do. And if someone could hear that and be like, man, I'd like to book them. Like if we could do anything to help someone excel their career or even get a little bit of notoriety or notice, man, like that's what we're here for. Like, even if they sell one T-shirt because someone listened to the interview or like I like that person, I want to buy their like I just that's what we're trying to do is just try to put people over. So hopefully,
like a lot of guys will talk and they'll be like how you're like, hey, we're doing the podcast, and then you're like getting the podcast over and doing that. But when you're doing the one-on-one interviews, it's not just me talking like Foxx and you're like, hey, I can't wait to get out there and break some skulls. Like I'm telling you, like, here's how I feel about wrestling. Here's what I feel about this. Here's these dudes I want to work with. So anyone listening to this, know that Foxx Vinyer is a very passionate person about professional wrestling and Chinese buffets. So hook us up.
And that's honestly what we try to put out. Like for me, personally, like there's like Lacey Evans when she first hit the scene, no one really like. I like to kind of dive in, not so much the indie scene because it's hard. I don't really want to get in people's personal business, and I know it's weird, but you know, people that are on the main rosters or like AEW, WWE, Impact, they're kind of more accessible. And you know, you find out stuff about like Lacey, how she's a Marine. She went through all this crazy stuff. You listen to an interview with her on Busted Open. Like, I listen to Busted Open and hear an interview with somebody, and I'm like, holy shit! I became more of a fan with them because they actually showed they're a real person, and you got to know them on an intimate level and a personal level. And I'm just trying to recreate that on an independent scene, you know. And I hopefully people listen to this and you gain more fans out of it, you know.
Yeah, and like that's what the dope part is about everything is that people listen to the interviews because they want to be like, hey, let's see what this guy has to say. Oh, he has stupid hair. Let's see what he's about. Mm-hmm. Oh, shit, he really likes doing all this stuff? Oh, he has passion? Oh, he's putting people over? Oh, he's helping everyone he can and people still shit on him? Oh, man, we should buy him some fucking food. Like, you know?
Chinese buffets. So, like, check to that.
Yeah, I went for Chinese buffet, got my Chipotle bowl, double chicken, lettuce, sour cream, brown rice. Good to go.
I love it, brother. Is there anything in closing you want to talk about or put out there for people?
If you are watching, listening, whatever you're doing to this right now, if it's late at night, let's see. Follow my ass. Just everywhere is Foxx Vinyer. If you're gonna Snapchat me, it's Vinyer Fox. Don't do anything weird.
Don't send him any weird body parts.
Yeah, I don't see your balls. But like, follow me on Instagram at Foxx Vinyer. You can see me do a bunch of flexing, and then maybe my picture of my cat. You can follow me on TikTok because I don't do that much, but I'm gonna start doing all those dances. Beep beep beep, whatever.
You would be shocked, man, who
Twitter.
sees that stuff, man. I booked an interview for Interviews Everyday People, and I just put out random videos on my, like, I didn't do traditional TikTok videos, but I was like, hey, I'm a podcast, and I put a weird, the one video is Andy coming out in the Rumble, so I wanted to show that we have, like, our wrestling show, and then I did, like, a beer review, like, a funny beer review, like, and someone was like, hey, I'd like to be on your podcast. I was like, wow, I didn't think anyone's seen that. You know what I mean? So you never know on social media who's going to come across.
I mean, I'm gonna do more on TikTok because one, you can edit a lot of videos that are like really cool, like have powers and stuff. I love power.
Yeah.
But like, I do a few things, and like I just throw up, I threw up my entrance from Ring of Honor. That was cool. Got a bunch of likes. I got some likes on here and there. So it's just like it's just another thing to put my name out to promote whatever. I don't know what I'm gonna have to do yet. I'll figure it out. But like, Twitter, Insta, Facebook, whatever. If you're going to add me on Facebook and you have no mutual friends, I'm probably going to deny you, just so y'all know.
I'm going to be honest.
Just so
there's a lot of people who I had like 50 mutual friends, and they were from different states, and with this whole thing going on in the world, and they're saying some of the most ignorant, racist ass shit. I've unfriended a lot of people I didn't know who added me probably because of the Pro Wrestling Podcast. I'm sorry. I just can't. I can't deal with that shit right at this moment.
Yeah. If you're gonna be a racist, sexist piece of shit, don't fucking add me.
Yeah.
Don't want to do it with you.
Oh man, choked on my own
spit.
spit.
If you're a sexy single lady, what up, thou?
Yeah, get it in you.
Yeah. What?
All right, man. Well, I thank you so much for doing this again. I'm sure we'll cross paths again and do another podcast. In the future, I have a lot of cool stuff coming up where we can do like Skype calls and stuff. Choked on my own spit. I'm like dying over here. Anyway, I know. I'm like, but yeah, man. Thank you again. By the time this comes out, because I know there's a little time here, the Pro Wrestling Tees or some type of merch page will be up where you can go show support, and maybe by this time too, we'll be like, oh, cool. Remember when I interviewed him, and now he's on AEW, or NWA Power, or anywhere Impact. You know, anything's possible.
NWA's another place.
Yeah, that'd be fantastic.
I should be there.
Yeah,
I'd be perfect there.
You versus the question mark.
Hey, yeah, they email me back. Hey, messaging us a lot of times isn't going to help. Well, then just put me on your show.
Yeah.
Like, come on, I'm here. What do you want from me?
You should do just what your personality. You should do a Beetlejuice gimmick. You should.
No, there's a guy who does something like that.
Is there?
He actually, I think he does it and he sings because he's actually in the Beetlejuice play on Broadway or something.
Oh wow, yeah, that'd be.
Fuck him! It's all about me.
Yep, this this is your show this time. But once again, man, thank you so much. We'll wrap it up there. Thank you guys for the support. Make sure you go hit those links below. Give people likes, subscribes, follows, whatever it may be. Buy a freaking t-shirt. Listen.
Yeah.
Don't buy a couple beers this weekend and go support an independent wrestler. Do that. And take a picture in your merchandise and send it to them because that stuff makes people feel good. Trust me, I would know. All 6 t-shirts I sold made me feel fantastic. But that'll do it for Tornado Tag Podcast. We'll see you guys next time. We're out of here.
Peace.